With like evil people who should be banned from the internet, I know I'm gonna have some issues.
With so much to do online, it seems that it's a bit too easy to get into some trouble. Here are some people who should be banned from the internet.
Dang, when I hear get into some trouble, I think, get a virus or get scammed, not do something that deserves your basic human rights to be taken away.
Marina La Nina.
Yes, that sounds like it such me to sound like an alcohol, like pina colada. Like, yes, I like a pina glorina and getting caught in the rain.
18-year-old Marina La Nina and her 29-year-old friend Raymond Gates of Ohio were drinking and hanging out with a 17-year-old girl when Raymond began to force himself onto her and proceeded to rape her. Instead of stopping him, Marina got out her phone and began broadcasting the rape via Periscope. One of Marina's friends saw the attack and called authorities. The pair face multiple charges, including rape, sexual battery, and kidnapping.
Just a reminder, if these people weren't using Periscope at that time, then there would have been no evidence that that 29-year-old did the crime of rape. Meaning that that 29-year-old might have gotten away with it.
Jeanette Garza Alvarez. This is one mom that may need to stay away from the internet. On January 29, 2016, Jeanette Garza Alvarez heard of a potential school shooting situation from her son. Instead of notifying the school or the proper authorities, Alvarez took to Facebook and posted about it. The post ended up going viral in the community and resulted in hundreds of phone calls to the school and 160 kids skipping school the next day.
Oh my god. You mean 160 kids missed one day of school? When if that many kids were missing, it's not like they're gonna do anything anyway? You should be banned from the internet.
The police department ended up filing a criminal complaint against the New Mexico mom, and she was convicted of creating a public nuisance. Russian hackers. In June of 2016, a gang of hackers from Russia were using malware to steal money from people's computers, totaling over $25 million.
And it turned out it was Windows 10.
They used a malicious Trojan called Lurk to steal cash from people's bank accounts, steal login names and passwords, and gain remote access to people's computers.
Okay, there are tons of hackers. Why do these people in particular need to be banned? There are far worse viruses out there. Basically, what I'm getting from this is you need to be banned if your virus hits a certain amount of popularity. So make sure you delete your virus and change it up before it gets too popular.
The group was eventually caught and arrested thanks to a series of raids by the Russian government. Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls named Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire went to a local park with their friend Peyton and proceeded to stab her 19 times. Why? To prove the existence and win the approval of a fictional creature named
Undoomed.
Slender Man.
I was close enough. Look at Undoomed. He is Slender Man.
Whose existence and lore was all created on the internet. After stabbing their friend, the girls left her in the woods to go in search of Slender Man's mansion, which they read online was nearby. The girls were found guilty and Morgan ended up getting committed for schizophrenia. These girls...
Schizophrenia, not schizophrenia.
Need to be banned from the internet for not only believing everything they read, but for willing to make a sacrifice for a fictional being.
Yeah, well, that's most religion for you.
Ebony Dickens. Ebony Dickens is a prime example of the idea that if you don't have something nice to say, then you probably shouldn't say it at all.
Like how nice you're being to all of these people. I could just sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight over all of these segments.
In April of 2015, Ebony was arrested for her hate-filled Facebook post that said, "Death to all white cops nationwide," and "I condone black-on-white killings." She originally posted under the name Tiffany Milan, but the average Joe should know that when it comes to threats, the government will find you.
Because let's all let our privacy be invaded.
Ebony was arrested on terror-related charges. Aiden C. In 2012, Amanda Todd committed suicide at the age of 15 after a cyberbully harassed her by exposing and distributing topless photos of her around the internet. The cyberbully was identified as Aiden C. from the Netherlands, and he was arrested for blackmailing dozens of women from the United States to Great Britain into performing sex acts on webcam. The 38-year-old cyberbully was charged with internet luring, extortion, and child pornography.
I'm not sure what the fact that he had leaded to Amanda Todd's death had to do with this, considering how the other crimes were arguably worse. However, at the same time, I will admit this person is messed up. You know, maybe they're kind of getting... Maybe they're just fine. I mean, yeah, they did put, a rapist before some guy who just said something off, or some woman who said something off. But, maybe that's the one-time fluke. They're not going to do anything worse.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Oh, God, they're going to do something worse.
Milo Yiannopoulos is a Greek-British journalist and a tech editor for the conservative news and opinion website Breitbart.
And apparently worse than rapist, according to the richest.
He is also known for being a bit of an internet troll as well.
And that is worse than rapist, according to the richest. I'm sorry, but do you know how lists like this usually work? You usually start at the best person and then go to the worst. There are two messages I'm getting here. One, I don't even want to think about the first one, because I can't fathom it. It's that you were just really weird with organizing. Or two, that you're legitimately saying Milo Yiannopoulos is worse than a rapist and someone who drove a girl to suicide. If so, that is disgusting and downright evil to imply. I don't like Milo Yiannopoulos. I never have. I probably never will. However, to claim he is worse than a rapist is a horrible thing to do.
Milo was permanently suspended from Twitter for targeting Ghostbusters star Leslie Jones in July of 2016.
And that is somehow worse than a rapist.
The bullying and hurtful tweets encouraged his followers.
Let's read these. Ghostbusters is doing so badly they developed Les Dog to play the victim on Twitter. Very sad. Nothing particularly bad. Also, that looks more like a decimal than a comma for 380,000.
Following of over 380.
If at first you don't succeed because your work is terrible, play the victim. Again, nothing particularly harmful.
80,000 to harass Leslie as well.
And that is Milo's fault, I think.
He tried to defend himself, saying that he was exercising his freedom of speech, but his harassment was also a violation of Twitter's rules when it comes to targeting specific users.
What does this have to do with anything?
Looks like he'll have to go someplace else to express his opinion.
Okay, Riches, I thought you were a fact channel, not a let's give our opinion on major topics channel. What you just did was give your little opinion on that, like, oh, no, this is, No, you're just supposed to give us the basic facts, not jump on bandwagons.
Brownfield teen. In 2016, a 13-year-old girl made claims that she was being bullied from several social media accounts. She claimed she was being stalked and sent death threats from these accounts and that she feared for her life. The threats initially seemed to be anonymous, however, after police got involved and traced the IP addresses, it was discovered that the girl was making the threats against herself.
And it turns out she had schizophrenia. Am I the only one who's expecting them to say that?
And the complaints were a total hoax. The teen was arrested for filing a false police report and making false accusations.
And that is worse than rape.
Michael Robert Garza. 36-year-old Michael Robert Garza would often entertain in local parades and children's parties dressing up as various movie characters. He also used the internet to promote his business and communicate with kids. In June of 2016, Garza was arrested for soliciting sex from a 14-year-old girl that he had met online through social media. He had engaged in long conversations, blatantly arranging to have sex with the teenager. But what Garza didn't know was that the 14-year-old girl he was talking to online was actually a cop. And
it's like a bad Twilight Zone twist, like, it turns out you're Hitler!
That he was about to get caught in a major pedophile sting operation.
Even though he actually never had sex with the kid.
Ardit Farizi. 20-year-old Ardit Farizi is a terrorist hacker who was admitted to stealing the personal information of thousands of United States military members and federal employees in 2015.
Well, the U.S. government does that all the time. I don't see the issue.
He hacked into an American retailer's database and passed the information along to the Islamic State terrorist group, ISIS, for the purpose of creating a hit list. That hit list was to be used to attack and kill the people on it and their families to spread the message of terror.
Okay, well now I do see the issue.
Originally from Kosovo, Farizi was eventually caught and arrested in Malaysia. If convicted, he could face up to 35 years in prison.
Wait, you mean he hasn't even been convicted yet? And you're doing the video.
Please take a moment to do something nice online today.
Like you were doing. I mean, I could feel the love in the Milo Yiannopoulos segment. I could have just said, "Can you feel the love tonight?" over it with no issue.
And please, be good to one another. Thanks
Like you were to every single person in this video.
for watching.
So overall, Richest, I tend to like you overall. I really do. I'm even subbed to you. I find you guys to be interesting every now and then. You know, however, this list was awful. Okay, well maybe not awful, but just bad. It was confusing not only why you placed people in the order they did, but how you placed people. It wasn't a start from the worst and it wasn't start from the best and gradually go down list. It was a, here's a rapist, here's a meanie, here's a pedophile. I don't get this. Anyway, that's really it. I'm Ephrom Joe, and good night.